Hello and welcome to today's information session for the professional program in regulatory affairs at UC Berkeley Extension. This is Dr. Richard Louie and I am the director for this program. Thank you for joining me today. In this presentation, I will share with you information about the regulatory affairs profession, examples of career paths, and how UC Berkeley Extension can help you build the knowledge base you need to reach your professional goals. I encourage you to submit your questions at any point during the presentation. Please bear in mind that some of your questions may be addressed later on in the presentation. So let's begin. Regulatory affairs professionals are needed in various regulated industry sectors, including pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and banking. For this presentation, as it relates to our professional program in regulatory affairs, we will discuss the role of the regulatory affairs professional in the healthcare industry, which includes pharmaceuticals and medical devices. Regulatory affairs professionals have a multidisciplinary role in the life cycle of the development process for a new drug or medical device. For example, with drug development, to grow in the regulatory affairs role, you need to develop knowledge at the bench, have an understanding of the chemistry, manufacturing, and controls for both drug substance and drug product, as well as have a clinical and mechanistic understanding of what the drug product is designed to do. In order to be a regulatory affairs professional, it is imperative that you have the understanding of the process to bring a drug product to market, which is achieved in part by learning, experiencing, and being involved in each of the development process steps and interaction with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or a respective health authority. Interestingly, more than 88% of regulatory professionals working today began their career in another field before transitioning into regulatory affairs. This is based on data collected in a 2016 survey by the Regulatory Affairs Professional Society. That same survey reported that 75% started their careers in a field closely related to regulatory, which includes research and development, manufacturing and quality, clinical research, laboratory sciences, pharmacy, pharmacology, or engineering. You might wonder, what does a regulatory affairs professional do? What are their roles? Where in the product development process are they involved? Let's take, for example, the biopharmaceutical industry. As mentioned earlier, the overarching goal of the regulatory affairs professional is to help bring forth the commercialization, in this case, a new therapeutic product to market. The regulatory affairs professional is involved in all stages of drug development, including after the product has been approved and marketed. Regulatory affairs professionals serve as a liaison between health authorities and the company. The health authorities may include, for example, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration or the specific country regulatory agencies, tasked to review and ensure quality, safety, and effectiveness of the product prior to approving their entry to market. Regulatory affairs professionals help companies navigate through the ever-changing regulatory landscape so that the companies can take the appropriate steps to ensure regulatory requirements are met for entry to market. As a regulatory affairs professional, you develop good working relationships and open communication with the health authorities as your company develops the product. You will understand, anticipate, and identify what data is needed by the health authorities and convey that information to the project team. You will also prepare formal responses to the FDA's comments or questions as they relate to your filings. Additionally, you will lead a cross-functional team to prepare and conduct meetings with the health authorities. Continuing with what regulatory affairs professionals do, they understand and stay up to date on state and federal regulatory requirements, as well as provide expertise and guidance to the company on those regulations. This will ultimately take the form of advising the company on what course of action to take when new guidelines and regulations come into practice. For example, The generic drug user fee amendments GDUFA 2 guidelines issued in April of 2018 and the new device guidelines for 510K and PMA pre-market approval applications introduced in November 2018, informing the team on changes to data disclosure requirement and ensuring compliance, advising them on how to balance time, cost, or risk, determining priorities, as well as developing contingency plans, ensuring compliance with pediatric regulatory requirements, and advising on required pediatric studies. And lastly, understanding and anticipating regulatory changes associated with the Prescription Drug User Fee Act PDUFA reauthorization. These are just some examples of what regulatory affairs professionals do. Regulatory affairs professionals also advise on the label for the intended product. You will perform intelligence on regulatory precedents or available guidances to inform the target product profile. You will assess the acceptability and validity of endpoints for product labeling. You will also prepare FDA submissions and filings. This includes curating the data and reviewing the completeness of all documentation, as well as ensuring that conclusions and claims are substantiated by supporting documents and data. You will also coordinate cross-functional team reviews and approval of documents. These are just some of the role and responsibilities of a regulatory affairs professional. And as you can surmise, the regulatory affairs professional has an integral role in various parts of the product development cycle and interacts with a multidisciplinary team. Regulatory affairs professionals are employed in industry. Some may work as independent consultants or work for a contract research organization or with government agencies. These are just some examples. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects an 8% growth rate for regulatory affairs specialist positions from now until 2026, in part due to growth in development and innovation of new diagnostic and therapeutic products, but also the increasing government regulation of the industry, thereby the need for professionals to help companies navigate the regulatory landscape and facilitate the product to market. Here are some examples of average salaries for regulatory affairs professionals in the San Francisco Bay Area. A regulatory affairs specialist 1 may start at $74,000 a year and advance after some years of experience. As a general guideline, a regulatory affairs specialist 1 position requires 0 to 2 years of related experience. Specialist 2 requires 2 to 4 years. A specialist 3 needs 4 to 7 years. And specialist 4 will need to have 7 or more years of experience. So how do you get into and succeed in the regulatory affairs field? You will need at least a bachelor's degree in the life sciences, chemistry, or engineering. Note that a 2016 survey conducted by RAPS reported that more than 99% of regulatory professionals today hold a university degree, with 42% having a master's and about 20% with a doctorate. More than 84% hold a degree in a clinical discipline, science, or engineering. In addition to having at least a bachelor's degree, you will need to have developed a foundational knowledge in regulatory affairs, which you can obtain through our professional program. You also will need to gain practical experience. And lastly, you will also need to expand your professional network, stay informed with current and emerging topics in the profession, and get involved in local regulatory affairs professional chapters. Here's how we can help to meet your educational needs and career goals. UC Berkeley Extension is the continuing education arm of UC Berkeley, the flagship campus of the University of California. Since 1891, we have been assisting students in reaching their professional goals and accomplishments. We offer more than 65 professional certificates and specialized programs, and more than 2,000 classroom and online courses, with 45,000 enrollments each year. We pride ourselves on academic excellence All of our courses and instructors are approved by the appropriate campus department. Our instructors, most of whom work in the field, also bring their real-world experience to the classroom. So when you enroll in the UC Berkeley Extension course, you are guaranteed a real-world professional Berkeley quality education. Let's take a look at our professional program in regulatory affairs. To complete the program, you will need to complete 5 required courses and 2 units of electives. You have 3 years to complete the program, but most of our students complete the coursework in about 1.5 years. The required courses include the following. We highly recommend that you start with Principles of Regulatory Affairs, Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices, to obtain an introduction to regulatory affairs and gain exposure to both the pharmaceutical and medical device sectors. In harmonization across worldwide applications, you will learn about successful licensure of products across the world. In IND/CTA preparation, submission, and agency interfacing, you will learn the initial steps that regulatory affairs professionals take in the product development lifecycle, including the responsibilities as facilitators and conduits between companies and regulatory agencies. You will learn the role of regulatory affairs in the preparation, development, submission, and approval of the IND/CTA, including the roles of project management professionals. This course will discuss the studies that must be performed for the IND/CTA, such as pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic. In the biologic license application, new drug application, and marketing authorization application or BLA, NDA, MAA, submissions and commercialization course, you will learn about the role of regulatory affairs during a clinical trial, preparing NDA, BLA, and MAA, a submission, addressing regulatory questions, and preparing for commercialization. In post-approval activities, you will learn about the role of regulatory affairs after commercialization, including Phase 4 studies, safety surveillance, label management, and product recalls. We also provide a wide range of elective courses to help you grow professionally in a way that works for you. Electives give you an opportunity to customize your learning by taking those courses that are most relevant to you and your career. You will need to complete at least 1 to 2 of the following elective courses shown on this slide. They include Principles of Supply Chain and Manufacturing, Principles of Product and Process Development, Principles of Quality and Compliance, and CMC, Chemistry, Manufacturing and Controls, Regulatory Compliance for Pharmaceutical Products. You will learn from instructors who are passionate about the field and who love to teach. Here are a few of our instructors. They include subject matter experts with years of work experience in the academic and/or industry profession. What's more, they are also approved by UC Berkeley, ensuring that you get the academic rigor you will expect from one of the top public universities in the country. Courses for this program are offered in a classroom at either our Berkeley, San Francisco, or Belmont centers. Our downtown Berkeley center is only a couple of blocks away from campus, and our San Francisco center is in the financial district. Both locations are easy to get to by BART. Our Belmont location is best for those who work or live in the South Bay, and you will need to drive to that center. We offer classroom courses in all 3 academic terms: spring, summer, and fall. Courses typically are offered during the day, on weekends, or on a Friday. The courses are 1 to 2 semester units. For our 1-unit course in this program, students attend 2 full-day class sessions, while a 2-unit course translates to 4 full-day class meetings. Earning your award of completion is a simple 3-step process. First, register for the program. We recommend you do this before starting your 2nd course. It's fine to take the first course, Principles of Regulatory Affairs, Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices, without making a commitment. This way, you can see how you like it and then decide where to continue. Then, complete all the required courses with a grade of C or better within a 3-year time period. Probably one of the biggest benefits is that you pay as you go. You don't pay for the entire program at once. You pay for each course one at a time. Prices vary based on each course, but in total, the cost is approximately $6,000. Finally, once you have completed all of your courses, you will receive your award of completion. Many of you might be wondering, what do your graduates go on to do? We're always very proud of our student success. Many of our instructors share stories of former students who have landed wonderful positions or who have advanced in their careers. Here are a few of our recent graduates. Although Jayoteska Chaudhary has years of experience in research, his long-term career vision was to be closer to patient care and bringing direct impact to patients' lives. After identifying a gap in timeline between benchside discoveries to bedside treatments, Jayoteska wanted to improve this bottleneck and so took our regulatory affairs program. Today, Jayoteska is working in an advanced level position within Quality Systems and Operations team in the Advanced Surgery Division at Baxter International. He is analyzing deviations in processes that can affect the quality of a critical care product used for cardiac and spine surgeries. Suzette Newby has more than 21 years of professional experience working in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry. During her tenure, Suzette has worked in both quality control and quality assurance. While her knowledge runs deep in those departments, Suzette had minimal interactions with the Regulatory Affairs Division. It was this lack of knowledge of a critical component that motivated Suzette to complete our program. Suzette is working at Intarsia Therapeutics as Senior Manager of the Quality Assurance Systems Group and credits the program in providing her with the base knowledge to better understand her colleagues' roles and to better communicate with them. Philip Vogley started the program in 2017. 6 months later, he received a regulatory internship at BioMarin Pharmaceutical. 4 months after that, he was hired full-time as a regulatory CMC associate at the same company. 3 months after he received his full-time job, he completed our program. His work comprises developing global science-based regulatory strategies, creating high-quality submissions, and promoting positive interactions with global colleagues and regulatory authorities for the biotech company's small molecule portfolio. You can read about our graduates on our Voices blog on the website. So, how do you get started? We recommend that you have a bachelor's degree in biology, chemistry, or engineering. If you are new to Extension, you will need to create a free student account through our website. You will use this account to enroll and pay for your courses, find out about your grades, and track your progress through the program. Then, enroll in your first course, Principles of Regulatory Affairs, Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices. I suggest visiting our course page and finding a section that fits your schedule. I also suggest filling out our newsletter sign-up form. You'll receive monthly newsletter about upcoming courses and new blog posts. Thank you for submitting your questions, many of which we have been able to answer during this presentation. Here are some more that have come in. Do I need to be registered in Regulatory Affairs program in order to take classes? And the answer is no. You do not need to be registered for the program to begin taking classes. Another question that's come in, can I register for the program after I complete one or more courses at Extension? And the answer is yes. You may register for the program at any time, even after you have started taking classes. Here's another question. How long does it take to complete the program? This varies based on individual work-life balance. Typically, students complete the program on average in about 1.5 years. We've got time for a few more. Here's an interesting question. What types of professionals will be in my classes? About 88% of regulatory professionals working today begin their career in another field before transitioning into regulatory affairs. This is based on data collected in a 2016 survey by Regulatory Affairs Professional Society. That same survey reported that 75% started their careers in a field closely related to regulatory, which includes research and development, manufacturing and quality, clinical research, laboratory sciences, pharmacy, pharmacology, or engineering. Many of the students in our program are looking to transition into the regulatory affairs profession, and those wanting to have a deeper understanding of the regulatory affairs profession. Your classmates may currently be working in these related professions. Here's another question. How do I find out about internships or other employment opportunities? While we do not offer regulatory affairs internships for this program, you certainly can speak with our instructors and network with your classmates who may know of an opportunity at their respective companies. Additionally, you might consider getting involved with the local chapter of the Regulatory Affairs Professional Society to broaden your professional network and in turn meet professionals at companies that may have internship opportunities. Additionally, you can try contacting local recruiters. What types of networking is available to me in this program? Please be sure to interact with your instructors as they have extensive practical work experience and knowledge of the profession, and your classmates, some of whom may already be in the profession or in a related career path. Time for one last question. Which elective courses should I take to complete the program? We have several, and it's based on your specific interests. If you have any questions about which elective to choose, please contact us. If you have any additional questions that I was not able to answer, here's my contact information. The email address is biotech_online@berkeley.edu, and the phone number is area code 510-642-1062. I would love to hear from you and discuss how this certificate or individual courses can help you on your career path. Thank you again for taking the time to learn about our program and our course offerings in regulatory affairs. I look forward to seeing you in one of our classrooms.